Okay, so this is me again. I'm sorry, I'm just filling in the time a little bit, but mostly what I'm interested in is answering the the chat questions as best I can. I mean, I certainly can't answer them in a way that some of you can because and that's what I want to do is get the conversation going. I really don't, part of the subversion, if you want to look at subversive stuff, is to get us all infighting, to get us all at each other's throats and not getting along very well. And one of the things that I really resist is anything to do with, okay, so yes, there's politics and yes, there's perspectives, but what I ask people to do is to start with the idea that we know nothing. And instead of trying to cram something into a box or making assumptions or trying to get people to think the way we think, best thing to do is to use our critical thinking to get as much information as we can, and then to at that point really be able to know our stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like the metadata thing. If people don't understand what metadata is, which of course I'm not very good at explaining here, then what I suggest is that you get really good at figuring out the metadata issue. Get really good at that because then you can explain to people, like that's a very, very elementary step. And George keeps going back to that. He keeps saying we need metadata. We need to have things verified. We need to have things confirmed through with a certain veracity. So that's what I would encourage all of you that are watching and listening. It's great to support George, and I think what we really need to be doing too is, supporting him by going and watching, but also learning. So as soon as there's something that we don't really understand, this is what I do as a journalist. I go and do my research. So if we don't understand anything to do with the metadata and all that sort of thing, we need to do our own research. Don't go over to another channel and start listening to another perspective. Not because I don't want you to hear another perspective, but often it's just a confusion. It's just a confusion because we haven't learned what we need to learn step one. And again, I was talking about Dr. Judy Wood. Some of you may know her from Where Did the Towers Go? And I love what she does. Now she's an engineer. She's an instructor. She's got a couple of different degrees in different areas. And what happens is she brings all of those things to bear. But one of the things that I find really interesting is she won't really talk to somebody who's making assumptions. She'll get them to go back to step one, and she'll say things like, how do you know that? What is it that you know, and how do you know that? And it's a really interesting process because we don't realize, we don't realize how many assumptions we are making. That's me cleaning. And I'm just going to do a little thing here. I'm going to clean. All right, there we go. And it's going to make the same sound again. So the best advice I can give to you if you're not really sure what's going on is to go back and take a look at some of the other videos, or to speak to some of the people who are, just a sec. Okay, no, we're not going to do that. Okay, so it wants me to close things, and I should probably do that to clean things properly. And so sorry about the stuttering. And me stuttering now. So all of this is to say is I want you all to be kind to one another on the chat and to help one another.